Welcome to HopeSpoke's Psychoeducation video series. My name is Cambria Byro, and I'm an outpatient therapist here at HopeSpoke. Today, I'll be talking about basic conflict resolution. Conflict is a natural part of our lives. We encounter conflict in our relationships, in our communities, and even in our work environments. And when it's time to address the issue at hand, conflict resolution is the way to go. Conflict resolution is a way for two or more parties to find a peaceful solution to a disagreement between them. It's important to remember that conflict is incredibly normal, even in healthy relationships. After all, two people can't be expected to agree on everything all the time. The key is not to fear or try to avoid conflict, but to learn how to resolve it in a healthy way. Conflict arises from differences, both large and small. Conflict occurs whenever people clash over their values, motivations, perceptions, ideas, or desires. Sometimes these differences can appear to be trivial, but when a conflict triggers strong feelings, a deep personal need is often at the core of the problem. When you can recognize conflicting needs and are willing to examine them with compassion and understanding, it can lead to creative problem solving, team building, and stronger relationships. Managing and resolving conflict requires emotional maturity, self control, and empathy. It can be tricky, frustrating, and sometimes even frightening, but you can ensure that the process is as positive as possible by sticking to the following conflict resolution guidelines. When engaging in conflict resolution, the relationship with the other person should be your priority. Maintaining and strengthening the relationship, rather than winning the argument, should always take precedence. It's important to be respectful of the other person and their viewpoint, even when disagreeing. Being in the moment ensures that you're paying attention to what is currently happening. If you're holding on to old hurts and resentments, your ability to see the reality of the current situation could potentially be impaired. Rather than looking at the past and assigning blame, focus on what you can do in the here and now to solve the problem. Conflicts can be draining, so it's important to consider whether the issue is really worthy of your time and energy. For example, think of yourself looking for a space in a parking lot. Maybe you don't want to surrender a parking space if you've been circling for 15 minutes. But if there are dozens of other spots open, arguing over a single space really isn't worth it. Resolving conflict is nearly impossible if you are unwilling or unable to forgive or compromise. Resolution lies in releasing the urge to punish or dismiss, which can never compensate for our losses and only adds to our injury by further depleting and draining our lives. In other words, there needs to be some space in order for us to meet halfway. If you can't come to an agreement, it's absolutely okay to agree to disagree. And if a conflict is going nowhere, you can choose to disengage and move on. It should also be stated that there are some situations where conflict resolution is not possible. These situations typically involve bullying, harassment, and oppression, masquerading as conflict. In these situations, basic conflict resolution techniques can only take you so far, and personal health and safety should take priority. Sometimes the safe and healthy option is to preserve your energy and disengage. Conflict triggers strong emotions and can lead to hurt feelings, disappointment, and discomfort. When handled in an unhealthy manner, it can cause rifts, resentment, and breakups. But when conflict is handled in a healthy way, it increases our understanding of one another, it builds trust, and it strengthens our relationships. Unhealthy responses to conflict are usually characterized by an inability to recognize and respond to matters of great importance to the other person, explosive, angry, hurtful, and resentful reactions, the withdrawal of love, which results in rejection, isolation, shaming, and the fear of abandonment, the expectation of bad outcomes, and the fear and avoidance of conflict. Healthy responses to conflict are characterized by the capacity to recognize and respond to important matters, a readiness to forgive and/or compromise, the ability to seek compromise and avoid punishing, and a belief that resolution can support the interests and needs of both parties. In conclusion, conflict resolution is an excellent tool to have in your emotional intelligence toolbox. Remember, conflicts are an opportunity for growth. When you're able to resolve conflict in a relationship, it builds trust, and you can feel secure knowing that your relationships can survive challenges and disagreements through the use of conflict resolution. Here at HopeSpoke, we provide a comprehensive array of services designed to meet the mental health needs of those we serve, including crisis and residential care, extended day treatment, outpatient services, and school programs. For more information, please call 402 475 7666. Be sure to check back in with HopeSpoke's psychoeducation video series for more information and education. We will have a new topic for each installment, so be sure to keep an eye out for future videos. Thanks, and bye for now.